2nd February 2022. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just that is quite a signature, telling you we are just in time for the news at 9, coming to you live from Boss TV headquarters here in Mombasa. And we do trust you have yourself a nice day. And welcome as we also kickstart to update you on the news. And my name is SHADRACK, OGEGA, and my sign language interpreter, as you can see, is Felix Otieno. And getting straight into it, and we begin our bulletin in quite a sad mood here. And 6 people have died after a house caught on fire at Kibokoni area in Old Town in the wee hours of the morning. According to the eyewitnesses, they say the fire broke up within minutes and it could not be contained with normal pouring of water using cans. Joy Kalechemutisia was at the scene of the event and she has prepared the story.
With a little clue about the source of the inferno, Old Town residents watched as the fire gazed red hot, dark clouds disappearing into the air, not knowing what next to do after exhausting all available means to put out the fire.
Hii ya leo tunamshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu mkasa uliotokea. Mimi ni mkazi wa hapa. Nalikuwa kwenye ile nyumba, kazi yangu ni pale chini, huwa nafanya biashara zangu. Mvulana amekaa akanita akanambia mama inuka haraka. Nikainuka nikaanza kuona moto mkali sana. Moto mbaya kweli kweli. Nikapiga kelele kwa majirani. Nikamwambia majirani tokeni. Majirani wakatoka, wengine hawakutoka wakabakia. Moto ulikuwa mkubwa, umesambazika vibaya sana. Na sijui ilotokea ni nini, walitoka hawakutoka, wamekuwa maiti.
The early morning fire that lasted for nearly 3 hours, 5 people believed to be of one family, a husband, wife, and a young child, have died after being unable to rescue themselves from the heavy flames of fire.
Hii asubuhi ya leo alhamdulillah imetutokea msiba mkubwa ambao wala hatukutarajia, lakini qadara Allahu ma shaa faala. Mipangilio ya Allah aliyoyapanga yamekuwa. Alhamdulillah huu moto imeanza kutoka asubuhi mwendo wa saa 1. Imeendelea mpaka Kenya Power fire wameshindwa kuuzima, na alhamdulillah tumefiliwa na ndugu zetu na mtoto mmoja wa sistangu na ndugu yangu yeye na mke wake, na wengine pia nao ni family, na wengine kuna wengine na zaidi wamepata majeraha makubwa, wako mahospital wamelalishwa.
Huu moto mpaka kufikia saa hii haijulikani chanzo chake, na kile ambacho tumeweza confirm sisi kama Haki Afrika, miili 5 imeweza kutoka, ambapo tunaelewa kwamba kuna wanawake, watu wazima na wanaume. Vile walivyoungua ni beyond recognition, so hatuwezi identify currently ni nani na nani kwa majina, lakini at least we could identify gender.
The firefighting exercise lasted for about 3 hours. Mombasa Red Cross chairman Mahmoud Noor says that a high probability of the source of the inferno could be a cooking gas. However, there is no proof to such allegations. Further investigations are ongoing.
No, ni vigumu kusema chanzo ni nini, lakini mpaka wakati uchunguzi utakapokwisha, lakini sana tunafikiria inaweza kuwa ni ile gesi ya kupikia, but huwezi kusema kwa uhakika mpaka tumalize ile uchunguzi.
Residents have asked the government to explain the reason behind frequent fire incidents in the Old Town ward.
Hii ni historical place. If there's anything that the county and national government can do is to ensure watu wetu wanaishi katika hali ya usalama. Each and every day kuna issue, mara kuna drainage, poor drainage, mara majumba yaporomoka, mara moto unawaka. Why can't we see the root cause of all this?
In addition, the emergency units along with the youths at Old Town have been commended for their efforts to try to combat the fire.
Wamejitolea sana. Huo ndio ukweli wa mambo. Fire imefika in time. Zile zingine ambazo zimekuja kutusaidia zimefika, lakini kusema kweli vijana wamesaidia pakubwa sana leo. Vijana wetu wamejitolea wakasaidia pakubwa. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru kwamba vitengo vote vimehusika na vimetoa huduma inavyotakiwa. Hii ndio kuonesha kwamba sisi tunaweza kusaidiana wakati wa mkasa, na wakati wa mkasa pia tuwe namna hiyo.
Reporting for Boss TV News, my name is Joy Kale.
Right, of course, we extend our sincere condolence to the family, friends, and the relative of those who had to die as a result of that tragedy in the morning. Now, moving on to some bit of politics here, and candidates vying for various seats through the UDA party in Mombasa County have called on the youths not to be manipulated and lured into voting in bad leaders during the general election. The leaders have also cautioned their fellow leaders, especially those vying for seats, not to incite and use youths into causing chaos. Mariam Diti with the details.
Speaking at the 001 Youth Empowerment Conference, the candidates called on the youth to maintain peace and love and not to be manipulated by politicians during the general election campaigns.
Tuko hapa pamoja na vijana wa Youth 001 katika kuongea mambo ya unity na peace ya vijana. Siasa zinakuja, lakini siasa ni za kuja na za kwenda. Umuhimu ni amani na usalama wetu. Kwa hivyo tuko hapa kuongea na vijana kuhusu amani na usalama, na kuwa wasitumiwe vibaya na viongozi tofauti.
Naambia vijana wetu wasitumike vibaya. Hii election ikuwe election ya amani. Tunasema election zinakuja na zinaenda. Ni sisi vijana tusitumike vibaya, because kijana akikosa violence, akileta shida, yeye ndo atasarika, kwa sababu yeye ndo atafungwa.
They also called on their fellow politicians not to use youths to incite violence in political rallies and campaigns, and instead to plan on how to help them with their lives.
Mimi nataka kushauri watu wote kwamba vijana wasitumike. Vijana wamechoka na vijana wanataka kazi. Vijana wanataka ajira. Vijana hawataki prorojo wala hawataki propaganda. Vijana wanataka kujua namna gani watakuwa na pesa zao mfukoni. Vijana wanataka kujua kesho yao itakuwa namna gani. Kwa hivyo nataka kuhusia watu wote ambao wanapigania viti vya kuingia katika eneo bunge ama MCA na magavana, waangalie ni namna gani wataweza kulitatua hili swala nyeti la ajira, na tutakavyoweza kuregesha uchumi ama kuweza kuregesha uchumi katika mstari wa mbele.
They also urge the youth and the general public to elect leaders with agendas to improve their living by August.
Mimi nawaomba wananchi wetu safari hii wafikirie ni nani watakayemchagua. Mimi namwambia mwananchi, usikubali kudanganywa mtu akuletee shilingi 1000 ama shilingi 500 ama bandali ama mifuko ya unga 2-3 upige kura, alafu baadaye itakuwa kisa hichi tulicho nacho. Miaka 5 itapita na tutarudi hapa tulipo hivi sasa. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba wananchi, safari hii nawaomba wananchi wetu, tafadhalini, unajua wanasiasa wanakuja wanatudanganya hivi na hivi, lakini angalieni mtu, msipigie kura. Hata mimi, nendeni muangalie background yangu, nichunguzeni mimi ni mtu aina gani, niko na nia gani, kabla hamujatoa ile kura yenu kunipatia.
Reporting for Bossnews TV News, my name is Mariam Diti.
As we approach the August 9th general election, the country's political scene stays heated with formation and affiliations of different political coalitions. The recent move that saw the departure of ANC and Ford Kenya Party from One Kenya Alliance has left the group undecided on whether they will face the ballot to themselves or join a partner with like-minded coalition. Clifford Mark unravels the plans within One Kenya Alliance with the just 200 days into the polls.
Speaking at a press conference in Nairobi, OCA principals Kalonzo Musyoka, accompanied by Gideon Moi and Martha Karua, stated that they are open to forming a partnership with like-minded individuals.
We have up to the 9th of April to form any political coalitions. But we have made it clear to the Kenyan people that others are free to join us, not the other way around. We are not able to, we don't want to go that way. But our minds are very clear. We don't talk in absolute terms because we are Kenyans. Kenyans need each other, but there are basic benchmarks and basic considerations. We talked of commonality of ideology.
We must all agree that a coalition is not a jail where the doors are closed. Yeah. The doors remain open for incoming partners, and everybody is free to exercise their freedom.
Absolutely.
But I think we are on solid ground. That is the message.
This comes at a time when there has been speculation of the One Kenya Alliance likelihood to join Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja, keeping in mind that the coalition formation deadline is on the 9th of April.
As of today, several other political parties have expressed interest in joining the coalition. This is because we believe that the diversity in our nation calls for heterogeneity of minds and ideas.
Kalonzo Musyoka, however, vehemently opposed the possibility of working with DP Ruto's UDA, terming him as a corrupt politician, and accused him of looting taxpayers' money.
If we are fighting against corruption, you cannot come to me, Kennedy, and say, your Lord, you have a debt burden out of stealing people's resources, public resources, and expect that you will meet you halfway. I don't think there'll be any issues. We will be moving. The important thing is the commonality of approach and interest, always guided by what is in the best interest of Kenyans.
Two things in our favor: tyranny of numbers and experienced leadership. Yeah. What else will Kenyans be looking for? And principled leaders. All that is combined here. People who respect the rule of law.
Cliff Mark, Boss TV.
My name is Kennedy Murray. Thank you for noticing. Right, of course, that is Clifford Mark on matters about One Kenya Alliance. Now let's shift gears into another interesting matter here. And as the world marks Cancer Day this coming Friday, women in Mombasa County have been urged to visit health facilities to get free vaccination against human papillomavirus, which is associated with causing cervical cancer. The expanded program has so far seen over 10,000 women and girls across the country vaccinated. Brenda Okello with the reports.
Speaking to the press in Mombasa County, Chief Officer Public Health Dr. Pauline Oginga said that women are at high risk of contracting human papillomavirus at a young age, which later on leads to cervical cancer.
Mtu anaweza kuwa exposed to the human papilloma virus akiwa mtoto mdogo na hataonyesha dalili, lakini baadaye baada ya miaka kadhaa ndio ataanza kuonyesha, atakuwa na hizo saratani ya uzazi. So we are really trying to emphasize to our girls, because you know sex debut for Mombasa County ilienda chini, iliteremka mpaka miaka 10. So through our adolescent programs we are reaching out to the girls. We are really focusing and emphasizing the need of abstinence, but unajua huwezi kuwa askari ya kila mtu. So tunawahimiza kabisa wale ambao wamejipata katika hali ambao wanashirikiana wahakikishe kuwa wamechanjwa, wamepata hii chanjo ya HPV.
On the other hand, she stated that they have received a positive response from the community.
I'm glad to say kuna shule ambazo tumechanja wanafunzi so far. Wametuita, tumeongea na wao, tumeongea na wanafunzi, tukapatiana chanjo, tukafanya monitoring. There are no adverse events in those schools. So tunaendelea na outreach services in schools. Similarly, last week tulipeleka chanjo pale Kongowea market. Na within a very short time, 30 minutes, tulikuwa na watu wengi sana ambao walienda pale kuchanjwa pale Kongowea market. So we are still reaching out. Nimesema outreach programs zetu tumescale up. Because tumegundua kuwa tukienda kwa watu tukiwapelekea huduma karibu, uptake inakuwa mzuri kushinda wanapokuja pale hospitalini.
The doctor has also urged citizens to embrace regular checkup in order to prevent the human papilloma virus and also to watch on their lifestyle so as to reduce the severity of cancer.
Cancer in Mombasa so far, there's a lot of screening for cervical cancer, unlike others. The problem you're still having Mombasa County ni kuwa kuna wengi wa watu wanakuja hospitali wakiwa wagonjwa. Hawachukui ile jukumu la kuja kukua screened, wajue kama wako na saratani ama hawana. Our social life ama ile tabia zetu ni tunaenda hospitalini tukiwa wagonjwa, tumelemewa most of the time. Lakini kupata ile chanzo, mtu anachukua ile chanzo ama fursa kwenda tu kujipima ile medical check-up, we do not do it in African concept. So most of the time unapata other forms of cancer is late diagnosis. But the program we have under reproductive health ni ile cervical cancer screening, ambapo tukifanya any outreach service we screen women. Hata last week tulipoenda Kongowea, we were surprised. We pitched a tent there and we screened around 60 women wale wanauza pale Kongowea market.
Reporting for Boss TV, my name is Okello Brenda.
Now from HPV, let's look at another healthy matter all the way from Kwale County government. And the government there has threatened to sack the striking health workers who downed their tools on Wednesday. This was the message from the county boss, Governor Salim Furia, who was directed the head of all county has directed the count of all health workers on duty in all health facilities, saying that those who will not have reported will have to give an explanation as their cause of absenteeism or face disciplinary action, which includes being sacked. Take a look.
Speaking to reporters, Salim Mvurya, the governor of Kwale County, has denied allegations of not paying health workers as a devolved government.
Kwanza tunataka kujulisha wananchi wote wa Kwale County, sisi kama serikali ya ugatuzi hatudaiwi mishahara na wafanyikazi wetu wote, wakiwemo wale wa Wizara ya Afya. Mshahara wa Januari tulilipa tarehe 24 kwa sababu kawaida yetu kila mwezi ikifika tarehe 25 wafanyikazi wetu huwa wako na mshahara kwa benki yao.
According to the union, the workers presented issues to be addressed, one of them being promotion. He also urged the health workers to stop being incited by the unions and other groups since they are misleading them.
Na ile chama ya hawa wafanyikazi wa afya ambayo wameleta kama maswala ni maswala ya arrears na maswala ya promotion na maswala ya pengine wamesoma apelekwe kazi nyingine ambayo waliyapendekeza hapa, na wiki jana wakaketi pamoja na county secretary na maafisa wa ngazi za juu na tukawahakikishia zile arrears za promotion ambazo zilikuwa zimebakia 15.7 million wanalipwa mwezi ujao, kwa sababu hizo pesa ziko, lakini lazima ziende na payroll. Haziwezi kulipwa kama ambaye is on cash and receipting basis. Mambo ya promotion ni mambo ambayo tunaendelea nayo. Hata hivi tunazungumza kuna wafanyikazi 381 ambao tayari tumewapitishia kwamba wapatiwe promotion.
On the other hand, citizens are suffering due to the lack of health care. Bakari Karisa, one of the patients at Kwale Hospital who came for his weekly checkup, was not attended due to the striking of the workers.
Tumefika hapa kama saa 2 na huduma ni huyo baba yangu ana shida ya mikojo. Alifanywa operation lakini sasa paka saa hii ule mpira haujatolewa. Na kila tukija tunaambiwa daktari hayuko. Paka saa hii ashamaliza miezi 3 mpira bado hako nao. Sasa sielewi.
Alikuja kwa matibabu kwa sababu ya mikojo. Mpaka dakika hii ya sasa sijatibiwa. Aliambiwa ningoje madaktari mkubwa, bado hajakuja. Sasa ndio siwezi kujua kama nitaitwa au vipi. Tunateseka. Sasa ikiwa mpaka dakika hii mpira ninao, bado sija kutolewa na pressure nilishafanya. Si mateso hayo.
Reporting for Bossnews, my name is Miriam Diti.
Former Youth Principal Secretary Lillian Omolo, who is still facing graft charges in 2018 9 billion National Youth Service scandal, has declared her interest to vie for a senatorial seat in Embu County. The former PS appeared in public for the very first time at her home village in Manyata constituency after she was implicated in the mega corruption case. Take a look.
The former PS, who since the 2018 National Youth Service scandal opted for a private life, has put up a fight to prove her innocence over the graft charges leveled against her alongside 34 others. However, the embattled former PS declined to comment on the case facing her and how it could affect her bid, and chose to stick to what she plans to offer to the people in terms of good leadership.
A woman, to get to where a man is, they need to work 10 times harder. But that's not the reason I'm going for the Senate. I have a retinue of experience, knowledge on issues of devolution. I do not think there is any candidate in this county today, any aspirant on issues of devolution who would understand or explain them or follow them to the capacity that I am capable of doing. There isn't any. That is a guarantee, I can tell you. Call us for a debate. I think the results will tell for themselves, yeah, possibly.
She stated confidently that the skills and knowledge she's acquired over 2 decades in the private and public sector gives her the ability and capacity to effectively perform the duties of a senator, given that she was one of the early figures who championed and fully comprehended devolution.
In my previous work as a professional, what I have been doing is a lot of public service work, a lot of financial management. Kwa hivyo mimi kuelewa maneno za kule pesa huenda, the delays that cost counties not to get their money on time, hiyo ndio kazi naelewa. So I understand the role of a senator. I know what needs to be done. If in Senate you don't have a person who's worked within the mainstream government, and I've been in government as a CEO for about 7 years under the Ministry of Planning. I've been a PS for 2 years, and I think it's time that I used what is in my head, what is in my knowledge, what's in my experience to help our people.
With regard to the party she will be contesting on, Ms. Omolo said that she was still in consultation with the supporters, and in a week's time, she'll name the party of her choice. The former PS joins an already packed race that has attracted 8 other candidates, and she says that she will inject fresh energy and progressive leadership.
One of the challenges was, of course, understanding the full import of devolution. So there was a little bit of delays in implementation of that schedule that governs the implementation of devolution. There was a bit of issues. In the second term, when we are implementing devolution, you could see a bit more vibrant discussion, more vibrant understanding by the senators of what their role in pushing for devolution and particularly the revenue allocation.
Cliff Mark, Boss TV.
Right, let's now check whatever was happening in Mombasa County in relation to the new traffic routes. And motorists in Mombasa were on Wednesday morning caught up in a huge traffic snarl-up as the county government implemented new traffic rules. The situation brought chaos and confusion among motorists and passengers using public transport means getting to the CBD, using them to get let. And the county government of Mombasa, through the Department of Traffic and Infrastructure, came up with the new traffic rules dubbed 2222, meant to ease congestion in Mombasa County. Sharon Nyakundi with more of this story.
More than 10,000 drivers in the city are against the new law on the road, with many condemning it, citing increase in traffic congestion. Mohamed, who is the Deputy Director General of Haki Africa, has blamed the county government for not involving the people and stakeholders, which has confused many in the streets.
Hili jambo tunasema kwamba ni jambo ambalo limeleta mtafaruku sana. Watu wengi wamekuwa na confusion, kwa sababu si kitu ambacho walikuwa wameweza kujitayarisha nacho. There is nothing important kama participation of different stakeholders. Ikiwa ni community, ikiwa ni washikadau, ni muhimu lolote unalofanya ambao linahusisha umma, wale umma wenyewe wahusishwe. Iwapo mtakuwa muna make decisions bila kuhusisha the right stakeholders, then hakuna kitu kitaendelea. So today mumeamka, mshafanya hii changes. Sasa mumeanza mtafaruku baina national and county government kuhusiana na masuala ya hizi barabara. Then tomorrow muje na another formula. Then munatuweka wapi sisi kama walalahoi ama wananchi? Wengi wao wamejikuta wakichelewa kwenda makazini, mashule kwa sababu ya hii confusion ambayo iko. Wengine ambao ni wagonjwa walikuwa wanaania kwenda hospitali, imekuwa hali tofauti kabisa kwa vile walikuwa hawajui watatumia njia gani.
Tunataka tuambiwe Mombasa ni ya wananchi ama Mombasa ni ya kiongozi mtu kibinafsi. Ati mtu anaamka tu anatengeneza sheria hivi asubuhi. Kwa hivyo wananchi wanastahili kukonsultiwa sheria yote ikitengenezwa. Ajali zimetokea, manake hii ni sheria mpya ambao watu wakusomea katika school driving. So kwa hivyo hili jambo linasikitisha, tunaomba mheshimiwa Joe ajitokeze atuongeleshe sisi wananchi.
Mimi ndiye chairman wa Matatu Owners Coast Region na hakuna chairman wote wa SACCO aliitwa, hakuna mtu yoyote wa SACCO aliitwa, wenye matatu wote hawakuitwa, wenye mambasi hakuna ambaye ameitwa. Kwa hivyo ni kukaa chini, walikaa chini na wakapanga haya kupangilia mabango.
Police at Sabasaba area had a difficult time dispersing drivers who wanted to protest due to the new system that was implemented today, as they were forced to use tear gas to stop the protest. Led by Benson Mutune with a driver, they expressed their frustration with the system, threatening to strike if the system is not changed by the end of the day.
Tunamwambia Bwana Mbalala, Bwana Twafiki, either aondoe hii directive kwa kabla ya mwisho wa siku ya leo, ama kuanzia kesho tutasimamisha matatu zote, hakuna matatu ambayo itakuwa inafanya kazi.
Additionally, the traffic minister Twafik Balala said after a week drivers would get used to the system despite the challenges of the first day.
Kama kitu yote ambaye kuna mabadiliko, lazima siku za kwanza kuwe na changamoto na kwa sababu utaona ni kitu mpya, na kitu mpya sana hatupendi sana kubadilika. Tunataka mabadiliko, lakini sisi wenyewe hatutaki kuwa part of that mabadiliko. So mimi na predict kama wiki moja hivi tutakuwa kidogo na snarl up hapa na pale, lakini baada ya wiki moja madereva ni wale wao wanajua vile watajipanga wakianza safari yao.
Sharon Nyakundi, Boss TV, Mombasa.
Now on to the world of sports. FKF Mombasa County Football League is set to resume this weekend after a 1.5-month break, and it is expected to be another high competitive season as defending champions Mvita youngsters, who managed to defy all odds and lift last year's trophy, will now have extra work to do in order to retain their crown. John Vincent has more on the sports roundup.
The Mombasa County Football League is expected to kick off the official start of 2022 season this Saturday, when Good Hope will take on youngsters at Bilima Stadium 3 p.m. The league ended last season with Mvita youngsters emerging victorious, and players of various schools have been in preparation since January to maintain their bodies' good shape for 2022 season. Elsewhere, the African 100-meter record holder Ferdinand Omanyala has arrived in France for 3 trips that he will use to prepare for a series of events ahead this year. Omanyala, who traveled yesterday, arrived in the afternoon and is scheduled to take part in the 60-meter dash race on February 4th, Mondive February 9, and Has de France February 17. Former European champion Christopher Limata is also one of the athletes expected to go head-to-head with Omanyala as he prepares to take part in the Serbian World Athletics Championship in the month of March. On to matters of AFCON, Senegal will come up against Burkina Faso in the last 4 of Africa Cup of Nations at Amadou Ahidjo Stadium tonight. The Lions of Teranga are seeking their first ever AFCON title at the 33rd edition in Cameroon, despite making 16 appearances. Senegal share with West African neighbors Burkina Faso the unwanted distinction of never having lifted the Africa Cup of Nations. The Teranga Lions have come agonizingly close twice, losing on penalties to Cameroon in Bamako 20 years ago and narrowly to Algeria in Cairo 2019. Mohamed Salah captained Egypt face a third final before final this week when they confront host Cameroon in an Africa Cup of Nations semi-final in Yaoundé. Cameroon sharpshooters Vincent Aboubakar with 6 goals and Kaltoko Ekambi with 5 goals are the leading scorers in the Africa Cup of Nations, having bagged between them all 11 goals scored by the indomitable Lions. Egypt have particularly painful memories of Aboubakar, whose late goal gave Cameroon a come-from-behind 2-1 triumph in the 2017 final in Libreville. The third-place playoffs and finals will be played on Sunday 7 and 10 p.m. respectively. Meanwhile, the Egyptian Football Federation has been fined $100,000 by CAF disciplinary board. This is for failing to honor a pre-match press conference ahead of the AFCON 2021 quarter-final clash with Morocco. This was announced in a statement released on CAF's website. It comes ahead of the Pharaoh semi-final tie with host Cameroon on Thursday. Brazil continued the unbeaten World Qualifier 2022 as they beat Paraguay 4-0 Tuesday night. And Uruguay ran riot over Venezuela 4-1, courtesy of Rodrigo Bentancur, De Arrascaeta, Cavani and Luis Suarez. The victory means Seleção, who have already clinched their spot at Qatar 2022, are unbeaten in 15 qualifiers and remain 4 points clear of rivals Argentina at the top of CONMEBOL standings. Lautaro Martinez's 29th minute goal was enough to secure Argentina all 3 points. Reporting for Boss TV, I'm John Vincent.
Right, of course, with 31 minutes past 9 p.m. Eastern African time, we've come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for your viewership, and that is good work there from our very own John Vincent on matters about sports. Remember to catch all these news that I've read for you on all our socials, particularly Facebook and YouTube. And let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have yourself a good night. Goodbye.